Hey, my name is Brilliance, and if you run any sort of info offer, coaching offer, consulting business, or even B2B business, this video is going to be a banger for you. It's going to be an absolute banger because in this video, I'm going to literally give you the plug and play scripts that we use to build VSLs for our clients. And not just for our clients, for even my own offer that I'm running cold traffic too. So you're literally going to see, script examples with variables that you can copy and paste for your own VSL, for your info offer, coaching, consulting business. And you're also going to see real examples from my own VSLs and even VSLs that we've scripted for clients. Now, granted, we're not giving you everything from their offer, but we're going to give you enough that you feel confident to go build out your own VSL, for your info offer, coaching, consulting business. And by the way, if you don't know who I am, we've helped our clients generate over $5 million using high converting funnels and these types of VSLs that I'm about to show you in this video. So without further ado, let's get straight to the value. As you can see on my screen, this is literally a plug and play template that you can literally copy right now for your business. Literally go copy it, tweak the scripts and make sure it's aligned with your offer, and also add a bit more context to make sure that you're actually speaking to your audience and you're not just copying this and pasting it into your offer, because that's clearly not going to work, right? So basically the purpose of this VSL script template is going to be to convert cold traffic into applications or booked calls for high ticket B2B and B2C offers, right? So the first distinction I'd like to make before I even go into the hook is that the way you create a VSL for a B2B audience is very different to the way you create a VSL for a B2C audience. A B2B audience that don't really care about, flashy edits, they're really going to watch these kind of videos. If you're watching this video, you're really in the B2B audience, because a B2B audience is someone in the B2B audience is someone who's going to have the patience to actually watch a slide presentation. Whereas someone in the B2C audience, they have no time for that. They're TikTok brains, right? For lack of a better term. And what you want to do for a B2C audience is that you want to use, retention edits that are going to basically keep their attention and not have them bounce from watching the video, because you want to keep them entertained while also educating them on what your offer is and going through the entire pitch process. So that's one distinction to make before you start scripting this, because B2B audiences are going to respect you a lot more when you're using slide presentations. This is stuff that's kind of, they're used to. They don't want to see, flashy edits and you showing off or doing all of this stuff. They just want you to go straight to the point and show them the value. Whereas B2C audiences, it's very different, right? So it's very important to understand that distinction whenever you're crafting your VSL, because this is going to help you get the best type of VSL that is going to actually resonate with your audience, with the type of people that you're going for. So the first step here is the hook, and your goal with this hook is to not stop the scroll, is to speak directly to the audience's number one desire or frustration, right? This could be, one or two lines, and you can see we have examples here, but basically the entire goal of this is to speak to what these people want or some kind of pain or frustration that they're feeling at the moment. So it could be something, an example here, and I literally have examples here that you can literally reference when you're scripting your own offers. So for example, we help agency owners install client acquisition systems that generate qualified calls from cold traffic without needing a sales team in under 14 days, right? And a B2C example is going to be, if you want to close your first $10,000 deal from your laptop without cold calling or needing any experience, this video will show you how. So in these two examples, obviously we're showing them what we can do for them, what they can achieve by working with us. And you want to be very clear on the outcomes that these people are going to get from you. As you can see in the annotations, again, use bold, clear language. Numbers are going to work great. If you're using a pattern interrupt, make sure it's something that's familiar, right? Make sure it's something that's familiar, maybe something in the news. Let's say, 300 million jobs were lost this year, or something like that. Something that's going to make them think, wow, I need to listen to this. What's actually going on? So, and usually this is for it can work for B2B audience, but usually where I see this, where it plays out the most is with B2C audiences. So basically the entire goal of the hook is to grab their attention, is to promise an outcome or to point out the frustration that they have. And as you can see in the script templates that we have that you can literally copy, we help audience type achieve desired results without common pain points, and we do it in time frame or condition. Now, the second example is going to be for a frustration line, which is going to be still stuck trying to achieve goal using flawed method. If your audience, and by the way, I hope this doesn't sound weird, me saying it like this, but again, it's just about variables there that you have to plug in. This might be the important video, the most important video you watch today. And again, the reason why this is so important, the reason why you need to dial this in is just like when you're thinking about the headline of a landing page. The headline of a landing page is really the most important part. of a landing page, right? Because that is the thing that is going to generate the interest. And the same thing applies with your VSLs, because when you have a hook that is going to generate interest in the off, is like a second layer of interest after the headline has generated the first level of interest. So you need a hook that is going to make them want to watch the rest of the video to find out, okay, how can I actually achieve this by working with these people? It's very simple. Also, do not overcomplicate this. Like, just think about what are the things that matter the most to your audience. So what is the one big idea? What is the one big thing? I always talk about big ideas. If you watch my videos, what is the one thing that matters to them the most? What is the one outcome that they're looking for? Or what is the biggest pain point of frustration that they experience, in their day-to-day lives or while trying to achieve certain goals? That's what you need to think about. And with that being said, let's move right into the second one. And we have like 9 things we're going to move over in this video. So the second one is going to be pain and relatability. So you want to build connection by showing the viewer you understand exactly their situation. You want to add context. You want to make sure you don't only show them the pain, but you also show them you understand why that pain is there. So this is what a lot of people miss. A lot of people talk about agitating the pain and, doing all of this stuff. And by the way, credit to Julius. Some of you guys might know him, some of you guys might not, but he made a very good example of this, because a lot of people talk about problem intensification and like pain agitation, but they don't talk about explaining why the pain is there. Instead of just saying, hey, you have this problem, you want to explain why the pain is there, because this is going to give them, some level of understanding that this person actually knows not only what I'm going through, but understands the problem, like the reason I'm going through this stuff at this moment. So it makes it very powerful, right? So example, you've probably tried, this method, hoping it will help you, but instead you ended up with this painful outcome. You followed what this authority said, but your result still feels negative. Basically, bro, these things are going to fucking... Again, this is literally me just reading off of these templates, these variables that we created. So just ignore them. Again, so a B2B example here is going to be, you've tried launching funnels, tweaking offers, even running ads, but nothing consistently books calls or qualified leads. Your pipeline still feels unpredictable. A B2C example is going to be, you've watched tutorials, you've downloaded scripts, even bought a course, but when it's time to close the deal, you freeze. And then you go into explaining why these things happen. And that's what we're going to go into in probably the next step here. So basically here, if you look at the annotations, is we want to mirror the thoughts back to them, right? You want them nodding. You want to be like, yes, that's me. Yes, that's exactly me, right? Be very specific. That's what you want to do. It's not complex to do this. Everyone talks about copy like it's some kind of alchemy. You just need to understand who your audience is and then write basically to just fit their situation and also add context, because you don't have to be, if you're vague, then, it's less believable and it's going to create less trust than when you actually go into detail, because detail is where trust is built. So very important to understand that. Now, the next thing is credibility. You want to build authority. You want to show them exactly why they should listen to you, because someone is watching this video. Let's say someone who has no idea who you are. They're watching the video thinking, why should I even listen to this guy? Like, why is this guy in front of the screen? So you want to build authority with them. Hey, with our clients, for example, we've built we built funnels for over 40 different businesses, and we've helped them drive well over $5 million in revenue over the past 15 months. And this is why someone is going to listen to you, right? So you want to make that clear. For a B2B example is going to be, okay, I already mentioned that basically for us. And a B2C example could be, I was working 9 to 5, stuck in sales. Now I've closed $300,000 plus in deals from my phones, and I help others do the same. And then you show them proof. Don't just say that, like actually show them proof. Show them, hey, these are the clients that we've worked with. And for B2B, something that we do as well is, we add in the usernames of some of the clients that we've worked with, whether that's an Instagram username or Twitter username. We add those into the video so that these people can actually go search these people and ask them questions about us. That's another form of pre-framing, and actually it's going to help them conduct more research. Because if people can find out, by themselves that you're legit, then it makes it pushes them further along the sales cycle. Because a lot of times what makes people not move forward with you is because they don't have enough trust built up. And again, people can fake a lot of testimonials. That's why I usually recommend case study videos to my clients. But again, even with case study videos, you still need to add some level of verification that they can use, like something like an a username that they can literally text to confirm if what you're actually saying is true, correct? So That's what we need to do. You need to build credibility, show them who you are and why they should trust you and why they should even listen to you, right? That's what you need to do. Now, the next is the market insight, which is going to be the hidden problem or the mechanism of the false solution. So you need to reframe the viewer's core belief and show them that the reason they're stuck isn't the reason that they think. This is called the mechanism of the false solution. And I talk about this a lot, the PMS framework, which is the problem, mechanism of the false solution, and then the solution. So after you show them the mechanism of the false solution, you now need to go into your actual offer and showing them why your solution is, why your product is the solution to the problems, right? So for example, most businesses don't fail from bad traffic. They fail from poor system logic. They treat the funnel like a page, not a conversion asset. A B2C example would be most people fail at wholesaling because they like Drive, but because they're doing it, not because they like Drive, but because they're doing it the hard way. Cold calling in 2025 is dead, blah, blah. So basically what you're doing here is you're trying to create a transfer of belief, right? You're trying to reframe the things that they think are true and explain to them why these beliefs are holding them back, especially if it's belief that is going to hold them from being a prospect, that is going to stop them from changing from a prospect to an actual customer. So you want to change all those beliefs. You want to look into your sales transcripts, understand why people buy, understand all of those triggers. What are the key drivers? What are the reasons that people buy? So if someone comes on a sales call with me and the reason that they buy is because they don't want to spend time tweaking funnels, mobile optimizing things, scripting VSLs, then now I know that, I can say, you've probably spent a lot of time tweaking funnels, mobile optimizing things, even after you pay the freelancer. But again, you're thinking that's the only way, but that's really not the only way. You think all freelancers are shit or you think all agencies are bad. But the reason is because you just haven't found the right set of people, or you're just working with people that are clearly incompetent at their craft. So that's a way you can reframe the belief and actually make them understand that your solution, that's going to pre-frame them for your actual solution, if that makes sense. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that they understand the hidden problem, the underlying problem, the underlying reason why they have the problems that they have, right? So that's what you want to do. The next is going to be your system. This is very important. So you want to review the method that you use to accomplish the solution, right? Explain how it works at a high level and why it's better. For example, our system installs a fully automated funnel from capture to pre-framing to call booking in 14 days flat, no guesswork. And again, you want to go deep, right? You want to go from the high level and you want to go deep. At first, just explain maybe the core fundamentals, and then you want to show competence. You want to show that you actually know what you're talking about. So you want to show them what it is, why it works, what it solves, what benefits or shortcuts, as you can see on the screen right there. So basically, you want to edge them. You want to make them feel like they know enough to solve it, just like a webinar, right? VSL is basically like a mini webinar, right? You want to edge them to the point where they feel like, I actually know a bit about this stuff, but I still need these guys to guide me through. Or actually, I need to consult these guys or get them to do the entire thing for me. So you want to show competence, but at the same time, there's some information that I don't want to say holding back the information, but again, you need to do it in such a way where you're giving them enough information that they feel they could do it, but not enough to the point where they feel like they could go do everything themselves, if that makes sense. So that's basically the idea. You want to edge them, okay? So the next is going to be case studies. So you want to now layer, and by the way, for this system and solution, you want to explain every single step. You don't want to have any ambiguity whatsoever. You want to make sure that these people who are watching this, they know exactly how they're going to go from point A to point B. There's no point in hiding or trying to make, at the end of the day, like most people are still going to come to you for help. They're not going to go implement it themselves. So why not just share with them, like explain to them what your process is? Because at the end of the day, like these people see your competence and they still want to work with you. So that's what you should do. The next is going to be your case studies and your proof. So you need to demonstrate believable transformation. So you only use case studies that are relevant to the viewers. For example, for our clients, we have, clients in the military space. I'm not going to, if I'm selling, to people in the info space, coaching, consulting space, I'm not going to use the result from a client in the military space because it's like different, okay? I'm not going to use that. But what I want to use is proof that is actually believable, that is aimed directly at the people that I'm targeting. Okay, so for example, let's say for a B2B example, that could be a client went from 2 to 10% application rates, and you want to stack as many of this as possible. You want to stack this, you want to make it overwhelming. You might even add in a joke like, hey, if we went over this, if we're trying to go over all of our case studies, we probably won't even be done with this video. Or maybe like just add in a joke like that is going to make it kind of funny and make them understand. This is where like proof again. You might not have all the proof in the world, but again, I'm speaking to you, and if you're running a business, some kind of info offer coaching business or consulting company, you probably have, a lot of proof. So, and by the way, if you're watching this and you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I'm seeing all of this stuff, but there's no way I'm going to go script this myself. Like, it's just going to take a lot of time. Even though I'm seeing like the script here, I can literally copy and paste, but it doesn't just make sense to me to spend the time doing it myself, because I may still, make some mistakes. I may still, have some errors. It's basically going to be trial and error. And you want to hire someone to do that for you instead and take that entire load off of your plate. Just click the link in the description, schedule a call with my team, and we'll see if and how it can help you, right? So a B2C example can be, Brad was stuck at a car dealership. He made $35,000 in his first month using our system without cold calling once, right? So make this real. Again, for B2B audiences, please, and even B2C audiences, do not make inflated claims, okay? We have a client who has a subscriber base of about 4,000 people, and he's made over $400,000 without making any claims. So like his literal offer, and I'm not going to dox his offer, is like make your first $1,000 using business method, right? You don't need claims. Like, people need to get out of this mind frame that they need claims to be able to make. You don't need claims. You just need to be honest. As cringe as it may sound, because a lot of people just lie, especially in the info coaching and consulting space. A lot of people just straight out lie, but that's not necessary at all to sell your offer, right? If I'm starting, like right now, I don't even have an info offer yet. I might have an info offer. I have a free community where I like give people free game. But again, like if I start selling info, like it makes it way more easier for you to sell when you just when you're just straight up with the people that you're trying to sell. Again, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be the number one expert in the topic. You just have to be at a place where you can teach the people below you. So if you made $50,000, you can teach someone how to make 10. You can teach someone how to make 5. You can teach someone how to make 1. You don't have to tell people, hey, I've made $500,000 a month in order for you to help them make $10,000. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So you don't need to lie. Like, a lot of people think they need to lie to sell offers, but we have a client that's made close to $500,000 from a subscriber base of 4,000 people, and he hasn't even made $1 million yet from the business model that he's teaching. But because he's transparent about it, people trust him. It's just authentic. So please do not have any magical claims. Like, just be straightforward, and also, don't make any crazy guarantees or try to tell people, hey, you're going to get this. Like, the worst clients you're going to get are the ones who need guarantees to move forward. Guarantee. Like, if every time that we've had a client, again, I love our clients, we've served over 40 different businesses. Our clients, the best clients that we have, don't need guarantees. They don't need guarantees. They don't need a guarantee on conversion whatsoever, because at the end of the day, all of these things are multifaceted. You need to make sure that all of the components work in order for your landing page to convert or your VSL to convert. Everything needs to work hand in hand. It's not just one magic pill that is going to change everything, my friends. Okay, so again, I appreciate you watching this video, because you have other things that you're supposed to do, but again, you're watching this video, so I truly appreciate that, because you're a business owner, but you choose to invest time in this video. So with that being said, that was a little bit of a rant. Let's go to the next step here. So the next is going to be the offer breakdown. So here you want to show exactly what they're getting and how it gets them the results, and you want to help them. What you're trying to do is help them visualize the value. So when you join program, or when you sign up with us, and when you get onboarded, you get access to deliverable 1, 2, 3, 4, everything. Like, stack everything that they need. You need to add to your VSL. You need to make it clear what they get. So for a B2B example, could be a conversion ready funnel, full CRM build out, email copy, ad creatives, tracking systems, everything that they need installed live in 14 days, right? A B2C example could be 12 module course, live mentorship, sales scripts, deal reviews, and again, the reason I think this is so important for you watching this video is because this is directly pulled from offers that we've scripted VSLs for, right, for clients, and even offers that my own offers where I'm running cold traffic too. So you want to make sure these have been tested. So you want to make sure that you have clarity in what you're giving these people, what they actually get when they buy from you. So make it very clear, reiterate that promise, and this is going to help you get more people over the line, because people don't want ambiguity. And again, promise what you can actually deliver. You don't have to add in a deliverable if you cannot deliver on that, right? It's a deliverable because you literally have to deliver on that. Because the problem I see with a lot of services and coaching businesses is that they add in deliverables that they cannot actually keep the promise to. And that's bad. That's just bad for your reputation, right? Forget about the marketing. Now, the next step is to add in risk reversal and qualification. So the goal here is to eliminate friction, filter out bad fits, and reinforce that you only work with people who follow through and people who think a certain way. So, for example, a script here could be, this isn't for everyone. If you're looking for, this expectation, this isn't for you. But if you're ready to get this goal without this objection and without, having all of these crazy guarantees, and you follow the prospect, we are going to blah, blah, blah. You add in your risk reversal, right? So a B2B example could be, if your funnel isn't converting, we'll keep optimizing until it does, or we'll refund you your fee. Again, I don't even guarantee you adding, we'll refund you your fee, because it really depends on your offer and what you're trying to do. But again, like I said, I wouldn't do this kind of this refund guarantee right here. Okay. And let's just delete that, by the way. So a B2C example is going to be, if you don't close a deal in 90 days, we'll keep mentoring you for free until you do. This is actually a good guarantee, right? The guarantees that are good, there's ones that are just straight up dog shit. So you just want to make sure that you're avoiding crazy guarantees that you can fulfill on. So this is going to add confidence and steady boldly, because it's just going to build a lot of trust with your prospect. Now, the ninth one is going to be a call to action. So give one simple action. Don't make it feel like you're begging them for the call. Just make it feel as natural as possible. So show what happens next, actually give them an incentive to show up to the call. Make them understand that this call is not, they're not coming to be pitched on the call. They're actually coming to you for help. You need to reframe that. You need to make sure this spans across, not just, this is not only for VSLs. Even when, someone wants to book a call with you, they're coming to you because they want your help. Okay, so you need to frame it that way. For example, a B2B example will be, book a strategy audit now. We'll show you exactly what's broken, how to fix it, and what's needed to scale fast. For B2C example, it could be, schedule your free mentorship call. Maybe we could rename this, because a free mentorship call already sounds like, you're adding a lot of commitment. But again, it could be a free consultation call where we'll help you launch your first deal step by step, even if you've never done this before. So again, like I said, frame it as help, not as a pitch, right? Always lead with what they get, not what you want. So you want to keep it pushy, but confident, right? You want to, that's exactly what you want to do. Because a lot of people say, okay, please click this link now. That's the absolute, that's the worst way to do it, right? Tell them, hey, if this makes sense for you, click the link in the description. If not, I hope you got value from the video, and I hope to see you soon, right? And again, this just reinforces the fact that you're an authority and you're not actually begging for deals. And also, one more thing to add is that, if you're running some kind of B2B offer, you need to create a section where it's FAQs. So you want to answer the most common objections that these people have. You want to add in FAQs, and you want to go through your sales calls and basically extract the most common objections and questions that people have on sales calls using ChatGPT, and you want to answer those in descending order of frequency. So the most asked question is going to be the first one that you answer. The second most asked question is going to be the second one, and so on and so forth. That's what you want to do at the end of the video, and then you reiterate the CT and tell them, hey, go book a call. So I hope you got value from the video. I'll see you soon. Peace.